Let's welcome to the show from House Intelligence, Congressman Rick Crawford. Okay, that's new sound from Nancy Pelosi. She's saying these were old, these options are coming due. Here's the story. Congress, the reports are coming in. They're going to increase by 50% the amount of government spending on computer chip manufacturing. It's now $54 billion, and on top of that, a new tax credit worth $24 billion. So that's $78 billion. So he's buying this stock in chip maker NVIDIA ahead of time. And again, we see this before with the Pelosis. It's about their stock options. We're going to get to that in a second. First, take that on.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Speaker Pelosi could bring that degree of financial acumen and market savvy to the federal government, maybe we wouldn't be $30 trillion in debt. Somehow she manages to amass a $150 million net worth, while the rest of us are out there, struggling with 9.1% inflation and worrying about where our next paycheck's coming from, how much we're going to spend in gas next week, and all these other things. And she's
but
out
Congressman,
engaging in
here's the
stock
thing.
trades.
Should Speaker Pelosi answer this? When do all of her husband's options expire? She just said these are expiring, so he had to exercise the option to buy the NVIDIA stock. Because maybe in Congress you delay the vote until after that date. And then you see what Nancy Pelosi says. For instance, Paul Pelosi buys call options on Apple and Microsoft, and that was in May. They expire in the spring of next year. That's a long time, a long lead time on legislation coming in. They made reports they made $30 million from trades involving big tech companies. She's responsible for regulating these companies. They're in her home district.
Well, yeah. So every year I have to file a personal financial disclosure, and I have to include my wife. So why is she not including those trades or those options in her personal financial disclosure? And why is she engaging in legislation on a calendar that benefits her? That's a good question. And I'm wondering why there's not been a greater scrutiny on this.
Well, you guys going to probe it if you take back Congress?
You can bet there's going to be a probe into a number of things. This is just one in a long laundry list of items that have to be addressed in a new majority. And that's why it's so important that we get out there and get back these gavels, because all the committees of authority, it's not just about the speaker, it's about all the committees of authority. So financial services, DOJ, the judiciary, oversight, all of those committees, it's important that the gavels are in the right hands.
So, again, let me just back up to recap. He's been buying options. He can sit on those options for a long time as he gets information about whether or not legislation is going to go in big tech's favor or against big tech or any companies he's dealing with. We also have this. Take that on. We got to move on to the next thing. Go ahead.
Well, he bought call options, so he knows that the prices are going to go up. So, I mean, you said yourself he bought call options, so therefore he must know something about what's going to happen to that stock. So he buys those calls and says, let's wait and see what happens. And then when he exercises, boom, he's got a ton of money.
And China is warning the White House about a potential military response if the speaker goes to Taiwan next month. The Financial Times has been reporting this, and the warnings are coming in much stronger versus those in the past. Now, China is sensitive about this because this is the same month as the August anniversary of the founding of the Communist People's Liberation Army. So why is Nancy Pelosi going now? And by the way, Taiwan dominates world manufacturing and computer chips. What is she going to talk about with Taiwan?
That's a good question. So in the main, I would say I don't necessarily think that the speaker should be constrained from visiting wherever she wants to. She's the Speaker of the House. However, there is sort of this cloud of what's going on with, as you mentioned, the chips and this legislation that we have. And now she's going to Taiwan, which is a leading producer of chips. So there's some questions that have to be asked. Generally speaking, I would say, first off, China, you don't tell our Speaker of the House where they can go when they want to go somewhere. That's number one. Number two, I don't think the president should have to do that either, because we're a separate branch of government. But in this case, there are some unanswered questions that don't look good.
Got it. Congressman Crawford, a pleasure having you on. Thanks for spending time with us. Come back soon.